You're welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Business Morning. We're coming to you from Channels Television Broadcasting. From Lagos, we're now been joined by two economists from the Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Damilola Akinbami is to my far left, and we have Dr. Afolabi Oluwukiri, my immediate left. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, we're going to look at those reports that was released in terms of the performance of the economy for the month of September. I'm going to start with Damilola. What's your take on the report itself?
Well, the report, like I said, is focusing on the month of September, what has happened in September and also October so far. And the report actually highlights key issues that have been occurring in the economy and globally. One of which is oil prices that everyone has been talking about. So we shared our opinion on the impact of oil prices on the global economy, on Nigeria and even other oil-producing economies. We also went ahead to talk about inflation, because inflation figures are going to come out later this week, and what that means. We made our forecast and all, and the impact of whatever the outcome is on the economy and businesses. So the publication actually summarizes, takes a look at these key issues and summarizes, and we give our opinion and our forecast.
Okay, let me hear from Dr. Oluwukiri.
Yeah. Okay.
Your take on the report in terms of our performance.
Yeah, we look at quite a number of things. One of it is the declining oil prices and the implication of that on the Nigerian economy, especially the implication of that on the deficits or budget deficit of the government, the implication of that on exchange rate pressure, as well as the implication of that on quite a number of factors on the Nigerian economy. We also look at the inflation, the expected inflation to be expected. I mean, in the next few days, inflation will be released in Nigeria. So we also have that there, as well as what will happen in November when OPEC will have its meeting, and the implication of that on oil production and oil prices.
I know the issue of oil has been at the front burner in terms of how Nigeria has been doing. We've seen our production, that's our output, been reduced owing to a lot of factors. We've seen pipeline vandalism, the challenges in terms of having to produce enough for everyone to have, and the refineries are yet to work, so we still have to export and import, exporting raw crude oil while importing refined crude. So let's delve into the issue of crude oil production, really, which I think has been making headlines. I'm going to go to Dr. Oluwukiri. What's your take on how Nigeria's output has been? Because we have a report from the IEA, that's International Energy Agency, saying that Angola may overtake Nigeria in the next few years if we don't put our house in order.
Yeah, our budget was 2.34, but we are doing about 1.9, sometimes 1.8, or most times less than 2 million barrels per day. Angola is vigorously pursuing increased production, and that's going to be ahead of Nigeria in the next few years. We have a lot of issues, as you said. Vandalism is a very big issue. Oil thefts, we still have to deal with that. And then recently, there are quite a number of oil firms who are reducing their investment, especially at the onshore part. So we still have to do a lot of things in that area. The PIB is there, and quite a number of people are saying, why can't we do anything about that so that we can have increased production in the Nigerian oil sector? Is something we have to look at.
Seems to be a long road to achieving, having to sustain our position. Damilola, what do you think we can do? Because we're still looking at the fact that the PIB is yet to be passed. There's been a lot of foot dragging around it. How do we handle the situation, knowing with the fact that the rebased economy has put us far ahead of South Africa and other economies in Africa, and now that our mainstay, oil, is been threatened in a way? What should be done?
Well, I'll start from the most obvious, which is the PIB. That is one bill that needs to be passed in order for us to have an inflow of investment, because right now millions of dollars have been stuck out there due to the stalemate in the passage of the bill. And right now, at least this year, it's very unlikely that the bill is going to be passed, because we're entering an election year and all that. So the earliest possible time would be post-election, maybe middle 2015 or late 2015. So that is one bill that needs to be passed for investments to be unlocked. And also another issue or problem in Nigeria is management. It's one thing for you to even pass the bill, but another thing is the management of these resources. if management isn't done effectively and efficiently, you see a lot of wastage occurring and all. So that's why Nigeria has a lot of leakages, one from the oil theft and vandalism and also from other areas. If these leakages are plugged, then they would see an improvement in our production. And in terms of vandalism and theft, the government has a lot of work to do in order to sort that issue out.
Okay, Dr. Olowokere, I know that our position at the global marketplace is still being looked at as still very good in terms of the fact that this is the most populous African country, 170 million people, so we should be doing fine, but we're still having challenges in the economy. In your report, I was just trying to go through it. One of the major issues raised was the sharp fall in oil price and the impacts on the economy. One of the areas that has been pointed out is that government revenue would drop, not just at the federal level, but even states.
Yeah. Nigeria is a monocultural economy. Nigeria depends on oil so much for its government revenue and also for its foreign exchange. So whatever happens to oil affects Nigerian directly. So oil prices have direct impacts on the Nigerian economy. If oil price is coming down, then that means Nigeria has less money to spend at the federal level, and then there will be less money disbursed at the state and local government level. So people that are buying oil will be happy that the oil price is falling, but we that are selling will not be happy that it's falling. And a lot of things depend on federal expenditure in Nigeria. The way the economy runs, the way the banks operates, the way salaries are paid. A lot of us depend on the federal government, and therefore a lot of us depend on oil revenue. So oil revenue is quite important in Nigeria, and any threat to oil prices will directly affect Nigerian economy, and that means everybody. And it has impact on quite a number of things. Our exchange rates, because our foreign reserve is going to be coming down because we have falling oil prices, and that puts a lot of pressure on our exchange rate.
Okay, Damilola, even if oil prices are falling, the good news is that non-oil revenue may have to take its place in terms of the increase. We saw the report from the central bank which said that non-oil receipt was at 806.45 billion naira in the second quarter, although that was below the budget estimate by 13.1%, but it was still above the receipts in the preceding quarter. So we're seeing an increase in revenues from the non-oil sector. How do you think we should handle this in terms of having to leverage on the potentials of the non-oil sector to make up for the dwindling oil prices we're seeing right now?
Well, non-oil receipts, fine, according to the CBN report, increased in the last quarter and the quarter under review and all, but there's still a long way to go. And right now, commodity prices are declining, and we have some commodities that we export and all that. So that is going to affect us. But even if non-oil prices are increasing, oil is Nigeria's mainstay. So whatever happens in the oil market would still have a significant impact on the economy. So there's still a long way to go in order for us to be able to balance it. The government needs to diversify more and ensure that there are incentives and programs that would encourage farmers and people in the real sector to produce more, people in the industrial sector to go out and be in the manufacturing business and all. One major issue is power. That is one aspect that has to be focused on. We know a lot about the privatization reform that is going on and all that, but we are yet to see the dividends of that. Maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, we should experience stability in the power sector. So that's one aspect that needs to be addressed, because if power is addressed, believe me, manufacturing costs will come down, and that would encourage people in that sector.